It's Friday. Happy Friday. 5th day of summer. Hope you're doing well. The Astros and Red Sox are no longer playing. We can be friends again. We're very white. We don't know how to do that high five stuff very well. I'm sorry. That's what you get.
Poor Bill.
That's
Poor
what you
Bill.
get.
Y'all pray for Bill.
Middle 50s. That's what you get. Hey guys, we've been talking about how to navigate the summer and things you can do to weaponize yourself against the temptations of the summer. And right there is the key word. There are going to be times you cannot avoid that which you'd like to avoid. There are going to be times you're thrust into situations you wish you weren't in. And in that case, there's a phrase we want you to hear deeply in your heart. Temptation is not sin. Expand.
It is not always possible to avoid temptation. We ought to be wise. We ought to be careful. We ought to not knowingly put ourselves in situations. But there will be times when you inadvertently find yourself tempted. A person walks by, you weren't expecting them to walk by, you're triggered, boom, there's temptation. A situation arises and you weren't expecting that, and boom, there's temptation. We have to remember, though, when temptation comes, the temptation, pardon the pun, is to feel shame immediately because I was tempted. But the Bible tells us that Jesus himself was tempted in all points or in all ways that we were tempted. That means whatever dirty junk is going through your mind, temptation-wise, went through his mind. He wrestled with. He was tempted with. Wow. But the Bible also says he managed that temptation without sin. So the thing we've got to recognize here is temptation is different from sin. Temptation is an opportunity. Temptation is an invitation. Sin is an action. Sin is a choice. I don't choose to be tempted. I don't choose to be tempted, especially in certain areas of my life. But when temptation happens, now I have a choice. I can open that door. I can step forward. I can do an action. Or I can say, you know what? I see that for what it is. That is a temptation. That does not define me. That doesn't, experiencing this doesn't say anything negative about me. But I am going to say yesterday's word, no.
I'm going to ask you to clarify something for us, if you would. We deal with guys in all kinds of addictions, right? We got the sex addictions, drug, alcohol addictions, gambling addictions. For those last three, for alcohol, drugs, and for gambling, it's easy. The temptation to put the money in the slot machine is one thing. You've crossed the line when you do it and you pull the handle. With alcohol and drugs, it's when you take the sip. But with sex addictions, the line's a little blurrier, right? So I see the pair of shorts I'd rather not see. When does it become sin? When I follow it 10 feet, 5 feet? Help me with that.
Let me say two things. In your first example, and this is true with things like alcohol, drugs, and gambling, I just don't have to be around that stuff. I don't have to go to a casino. If I don't go to a casino, I'm not going to be tempted to put by the way, you don't put coins in anymore. I think it's all
middle 50s.
It's all electronic. Anyway, the bottom line is this, Bill. When I am tempted, okay, I don't have to act upon that. What was your question again?
Well,
I got lost.
It gets blurry in sex addiction. Like,
great. Yeah. So here's what I'd say about that.
Middle 50s.
I don't have to put myself in certain situations. But with food and with sex, those are appetites that God has given me. So they are always within me. Mm-hmm. And unless God supernaturally takes away those appetites, that stirring and that temptation will oftentimes be there. And I can't just completely separate myself. I can say, I'm not going to look at porn, but that doesn't mean that a picture is going to be triggered in my mind, or a scenario is going to be triggered in my mind. So I think the line is when I linger, and we ought not put I can linger for 3 seconds, but not for 5. I can linger for 5, but not for 10. You know when you're lingering. You know when you are letting that reel begin to roll. It's one thing for something to flash in front of you. It's another for you to then, let that reel roll and let that begin to play itself out. Anytime I do that, stop immediately and confess, Lord, I'm sorry for letting that roll. And I don't know, Lord, if that was sin or not sin, but I'm sorry for letting that roll. And don't get so caught up and beat yourself up in it. Just say, Lord, I'm sorry for letting that roll. I'm sorry for lingering there. And again, I don't know whether that was sin or not, but I know I lingered too long. And so, Lord, I'm confessing that to you, and I'm asking you to cleanse me, and I'm asking you to help me not linger again.
That helps me a lot. Temptation is not sin, guys. So don't get disgusted with yourself for being tempted and then throw up your hands and give up and just give in to your cravings. We need to stay strong. All of this has been great, Troy. We want you to have a healthy, happy, holy summer and just enjoy the heck out of this beautiful nature God's given us. Thank you, buddy.
Love and appreciate you guys.
We do indeed. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you soon.